Welcome back to the Preventative Health Traveler podcast by Alta Vita. Today, we're diving into group travel without the drama. Healthy, harmonious, high vibe travel. We're here for it, and we're going to give you some tips. I'm Megan Swan, wellness coach and CEO of Alta Vita, and my co-host, Dr. Jose Antonio Uñoa Prado. So tell me, when was the first time, or how many times have you traveled in a big group? I mean, mostly, no?
Well, the truth I try to avoid, but but this is important because when we travel in a group, the memories are stronger. We have more experience to share, and this is a beautiful, beautiful time. But how many times there are different idea about where will be the place to dinner, or what will be the next activity, or I have children's younger to 12, and I have interest to go to theater, but this theater is not exactly my preference. And then this a beautiful travel to start little fights or little inconvenience, and then it could be happening. And then the opportunity to have a stronger memories, a beautiful memories, start on a bad space. And this is happen. This happen frequently.
Yeah, I think it's never it's a very good test of the type of relationship you have, whether it's friends, family, a loved one, traveling, because you're out of side of your comfort zone. You have probably very clear expectations or specific objectives that you want out of this trip. So it's, I think, first important to just have open communication as much as possible and options and not take it personally when not everyone wants to do the same thing. Like really give people the opportunity to have space and then also create scenarios where these memories can truly be built.
But for the other side, this is the problems about the preference, but there are other problems. Problems about health, difference, absolutely physical condition of this group. Then
Hmm.
in this group, there are people with diabetes, or then reduce the possibility of the activities, or there are maybe people with a few mobility for overweight, or there are other people with other kind of limitations or other kind of specific issues. But it's very important to have a idea about everyone. How is the medical condition? Not it's a big story, clinical story, but the idea, no, that my mother is diabetic, have diabetes, then I know that this is impossible to go to a candy store. No, there is some example, ridiculous example, but it's the idea, no, and always carry a shared emergency contact of the group.
Mm.
The idea to take the phones of the I don't know the brothers in the city, have information more that the contact of all the group is very important.
It's true because you think, okay, we're all in touch, what could go wrong? But you really need everybody's emergency contact, at least one alternative person who's not on the trip. Ideally, if you could have like a shared file of everybody's passports, everybody, like a little bit more information just in case anything goes wrong. Hopefully, you're traveling with insurance in some shape or form. And if you can have that information for everybody, and I think that's so important to understand while you're planning it, okay, what are the limitations of the group? Particularly when somebody's really healthy. My first experience was when I was pregnant, understanding like how much different, how far I could walk comfortably when you're carrying, an extra 10, 20 pounds. And, sometimes we have all these great aspirational adventure travel ideas, and we're not really considering like maybe everyone can't carry the same amount of weight on their back if you're hiking, or some people have no desire to walk for 6 hours in the forest, and others are really excited about that. So it's, I think, really taking the time in the beginning to plan it and check in. Make it okay that your travel group says, I love that for you. We will be doing this in the city.
And try to be open your mind. Because, for example, maybe I don't like the electronic music, but if the group, there are five, six people to one, they want to go a concert of some kind, a very famous DJ, open your mind. Try to stay with them and try to participate in the happiness the group and open the mind with a very positive vibes.
Yes, I agree. I think that especially in today's world, we kind of get siloed into our preferences, and that's not always great as well. Some of the best memories are when, you're basically exchanging. It's like, okay, you really want to do this thing, so we're all going to do it with you and support you in that. And, you're inevitably going to learn something or have a different experience that you haven't had before. And also just accompany that friend or family member in their ideal experience. And then, the next day you can do something that's another really great strategy that everybody gets to sort of manage a day on the trip and sort of be the leader, and that there's not just one leader. Because I know also it can be very frustrating and mentally taxing if there's just one individual or one couple of the group that's sort of in charge of doing all the planning and everyone else just comes along for the ride. It's kind of nice to be able to, lead on the decisions, but it's also a lot of pressure because then when people aren't having a good time or they're not happy or it's not what they thought, it can kind of ruin the vibe or the trip and the memories for everybody.
If the group is very heterogeneous, it's very different, the personality and the interest. It's very important to have a small conversation before a small meeting about how will be the travel, try to avoid inconvenience in the travel. If you have activities very uh, unique or very important just for one, maybe this is not the moment to try to make this activity and try to have another group who share the same passion about this. For example, fishing. No, maybe not all are very happy to stay in the ocean for 7 hours. That maybe is a very complicated, terrible for people stay for so long in the ocean. And for many, it's very interesting stay and peaceful and have another kind of emotion. Then I think this very heterogeneous. Try to have a meeting about how is the goal most important in this travel, or maybe you try to make a group more homogeneous with the same interests. Maybe they have interest to go to the museums in the Europe, for example. Then it's different, no? But always, I think it's when we travel with our friends, the memories are stronger and beautiful in the majority of the times.
Yeah, and let's be clear, we are clear on the friends that we would want to travel with too. I think like you kind of just know people that are a little bit more go with the flow. You want to plan and you want everyone to have a good time, but you also kind of want to travel with people that have traveled before and that have the personality to kind of be able to, find the silver lining in whatever, because let's face it, there's often things that go wrong, small and big, and you want to have a group that's kind of up for anything and willing to find the funny story or the lightheartedness in whatever happens on the trip. But yeah, so one of the things that's really important to us as we are designing our retreats is to make them as inclusive as possible, to really give people options, especially the ones that are designed for couples. There will be, more adventure travel type options. There will be, no, I'm just here to go on go to museums, or I just want to stay in the spa. There's really like a range of options, and it's kind of like an a la carte menu. And so that's also another great way to do group travel is to go to a location where there are options built into the experience. And then, you're maybe just coming together for dinner and breakfast every day and kind of checking in with each other.
Have the each group or each couple or each family a space, no? And then maybe just see you at the dinner and have the space and and looking for the interest each one.
Beautiful. Any other like best memories of travel? I know our trip to Greece, I think, was probably one of the best group travel experiences I had, and I think it had a lot of that built into it. So there was, opportunity to do things independently, and it was like, oh yeah, we're all excited to do that. Let's do that together. And there was some great stories.
Yeah, yeah. I I am very excited to to have the next travel with a big group.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, and looking forward to our next chapter.
See you soon.